Hey everybody, welcome back to Some Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here watching another jobless reincarnation. Let's go ahead and go to the recap and see what happened last time, which was the kidnapping and confinement of Beast Girls. When Rudeus discovers that two of his new schoolmates have destroyed one of his precious figures, he swears revenge. But while he may be able to trounce schoolgirls in a fight, figuring out what to do with them next won't be so easy.
Well, the recap doesn't show that glimmer of hope that we discussed before.
where where maybe Rudeus is going a bit out of his way to be a bit of a bully.
It
Like
may just be what it says on the tin.
it it could just be we're in the Ichi anime. We had the Ichi episode, got two girls tied up in a room together, and then they get doused in water like bad pets.
I I cannot conceive of this anime being what it has been with
And
all
then
of the
being lit.
introspection and the character dynamics and you know all the constant flashbacks to who I was before and who I want to be now
Mhm.
to just turn it off, right? It just doesn't feel like the show that would just turn it off to do something like this. Maybe, I think maybe also the problem I have is that Fitz just bought in, like, yeah, let's do bro stuff together. Like, the only thing I can think of as the redemption is that Roxy shows up and he's still doing it, and then be like, what the fuck are you doing? You're acting like this guy's brother. What's his name? Zanabo? Zanaba?
Yeah, Zenoba's brother, who is do X.
Yeah, Pax. For her to show up in disgust and be like, "You're acting like Pax. What are you doing?" You're like that would be the possible moment of introspection for him to go like,
the
"Oh
the snap out
shit,
of it moment.
yeah, the oh shit, I am just like those guys that ruined my life."
But the focus here is around Sylvie and what she's doing, and I want to say if I were to go ahead and try to contextualize and make an interpretation of her journey here, it would be being around Rudius, figuring out who he is now, but still going along with it based on like friendship and past memories inertia, right? It's just like I always used to say I like this guy. I always hanged out with this guy. He's kind of weird now, but yeah, sure. I mean, he was weird before too, right? And maybe also needing that snap out moment. Maybe they get to like a point where they're just like, hold up, this is too much. Or maybe they just quietly go, never say that they're Sylphie, pull back and go, it's like, I'm sorry, Rudy's, I just can't help you anymore. And then they just stop seeing each other ever again. Which would be only tragic to the audience, unfortunately. But I mean, that's like the theory I have in my brain. Like, where could this go? Um, As far as everyone else, though, we haven't had a Cliff episode in a bit.
You're the only one pushing the cliff stuff.
I want to see more Cliff. I want to
You're
see him being a jerk.
yeah, well, we have Rudius being a jerk. We don't need
Yeah.
Cliff at the moment.
Wait, he's got to
Also,
be there for a reason.
well, remember, Cliff's entire motivation is for Eris. So, Eris isn't
Right.
around. So, what the fuck do we need to do with Cliff? Cliff didn't make himself an enemy of Rudius when Rudius showed up. So, Cliff's also
Okay.
not an antagonist.
So let's go ahead and say Cliff is not quite so crazy as, I occasionally just kind of make fun of. Let's say he's just quietly observing Grudius here, right? And he's going to watch all the drama go down, and maybe eventually he figures out, oh, Filtz is Sylphie, and they are hanging out together, and they clearly are into each other. So when I go back and I see Eris again, I'll tell her about that, cause drama, and have Eris like me instead. I feel like that would be the Cliff maneuver here to take.
One, I don't think Cliff is plotting all this out like you keep saying he is.
I
Two,
don't think that's the
I don't
plot.
think
I think that's just where what he will happen. Like he'll just walk into
you
it.
literally framed this as though he's thinking this, which means it's his plot. Two, I don't think Eris is coming here, which means I don't think that's gonna matter.
Oh no, I think they're just gonna leave and encounter elsewhere. But
I don't think
I
we
think
have that much space to work around with right now.
we could maybe do it in like an episode or like a side scene. I think.
He
But
hasn't discovered some teleportation research yet. He hasn't
mhm.
fixed his erectile dysfunction. We haven't even thought about going just how long has it been since he's thought about his mother?
If you count the teleportation research last episode,
I'm not. Like literally I'm saying when's the last time he said the word zenith has
before he
appeared,
got to the school.
right, which has been a number of episodes. I think we're so far from the what happens when we leave the academy that it's
Uh-huh.
not even like unless
It,
another
it's not
teleport
it's not going to be around for a while,
like
yeah.
unless another teleportation incident happens and we forcibly get removed. I have no
Maybe it
idea.
will.
I don't think so. We had what
But
5, 6 months of those balls floating in the air before it
yeah.
actually went off, and we haven't even seen one.
But Theta, do you know what this episode is? This is
The
the
depressed
Luke
fiance.
episode.
How do you know that?
That's what I think is happening.
Did you pre-watch? Are you a dirty
No.
pre-watcher?
No, this is my assumption based off the name of the episode and all the characters we already put out onto our pentagram of drama.
They did not.
It's Luke's turn next,
They
I
have not
think.
indicated who this episode would be about. It says the depressed fiance or
Uh-huh.
something like that, like something fiance. I can't remember the words, but they didn't give us a visual. You're
I guess the question
indicating
is who
one.
else will it apply to? My guess is Luke. I think that's what I'm seeing next. They're going to focus the light over there.
Well, let's see. Who could it apply to? Well, let's see. Eris could show up this episode. She could be the depressed fiance, considering that
Uh-huh.
they've made a promise to one another.
Yeah.
The one of them is a prince. Who the hell knows with him, right?
Hmm.
Everything fucking happens to that guy. It's weird.
Of
Like we just
course.
found out last episode, he strangled his little sister to death. We never fucking knew about that, and that was like a one sentence throwaway line. That would
Yep.
be a serious character motivating arc in any other fucking show. But this guy, well, that's weird, dude. By the way, let's name my new slave after that. you know,
Yeah.
weird. It's the fucking weird arc we're in right now. Could be a character we haven't met before.
I if it's a new character, I don't think I can possibly make a guess. It could literally be anything if that was the
By the
case.
way, completely not part of this conversation, but can you imagine trying to sell somebody on anime and describing this arc as the thing? Yeah, we got a guy who strangled his little sister, apparently. But yeah, we named the slave after that. Also, the guy has erectile dysfunction. And it's like,
And
can you
captured two
imagine?
schoolgirls and kept them in his room for a whole day without feeding them.
Can you imagine trying to sell someone on anime just on this arc of the
All
show?
right. So Theta, here's the gambit. No Kapara shows up and he's the fiance.
The name rings a bell, but I don't know who that
No,
is.
dude.
Who?
The horse.
Oh, the horse. Sorry, you said Nokapara, and I thought about those rapping guys from Dragon Ball GT. Boom parapara, boom parapara.
Oh, there we go. That's a mental image I needed today. Thank you, Dragon Ball GT. You keep on giving.
Sorry, that sounds so familiar. What the hell is that from?
And now I embrace the street release of death. So
I mean, we haven't seen
I
the
think
dwarf in forever, and the idea that they
hmm,
have a dwarf slave girl now, and the old dwarf that used to travel with Elenice, who's also traveling around the school in her own way.
oh gosh, you know what? Completely random thought. The dwarf adventure is going to be related to the dwarf kid.
As
Like
the
that seems
depressed,
like the coincidence that would
he
happen.
could be the depressed fiance.
There you go. All right, so we got our episode then. So now that we've written our episode, let's see what they wrote. Let's compare our notes. But before we get watching, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can go ahead and follow us over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below, join the Discord, let us know how you'd use this arc of the anime to sell anybody new to anime.
It is the Cliff episode.
You said, Griff, off screen
Yeah.
before we started recording.
We're back to the ordinary weirdness.
That's not even the ordinary weirdness.
A one kid trying to study. Yeah, I know that feel.
Because the ordinary weirdness wasn't forcibly groping people. The ordinary weirdness was like falling on top of people accidentally and be like, oh, I'm sorry. You know, that sort of thing. Is Cliff after the princess?
That's what we get today. I'm surprised.
It might not be the princess. I think she's in a different building. Same window type, though.
I guess it takes a person like Cliff to be absolutely staggered at someone in the window behind a curtain.
Well, to be fair, we don't see his perspective. We saw our perspective, which is also like 12 feet off of the ground and from a different side angle. We don't know what he saw. But at least we have confirmation that you're not a dirty pre-watcher.
I am staggered that you would ever levy the accusation at me.
Well, except for shows like School Live and things like that.
But I didn't watch that ahead of time. You told me about it ahead of time.
Except that I didn't. So, keep using that excuse, but I know that I didn't.
Oh, that's a new character I don't think we've seen yet.
Except that we've seen her in every opening. I'm assuming you're talking about the blue girl who's touching the wall with has the strange markings on it. Yeah, this has been the same opening. Same opening for 4 episodes now, Griff.
Right. I'm just like...
Next thing you'll be pointing out the bird and how he's holding feathers in his hand.
But what does the bird mean, Theta?
Well, clearly it's flying into space to see the space whale.
Oh, yeah, no, that checks out.
See? Just flew into space. See the space whale. Griff, I don't think we're going to get the redemption. I think he's going to save Cliff from this bullying. And that's what and that's what we're going to consider to be his turning his back on the bullies of the past. Not his actual bullying that he did an episode ago. Of course it is, Griff. Be narratively literate. Be as narratively literate as everyone accuses me of.
Now.
Yeah.
It is Cliff on the ground.
Be as narratively literate as people accuse me of not being. See, this is the redemption that the show is writing for him, not the redemption that we wanted. See, in a world with no deodorant, I would never walk around like that.
You can still have soap and be clean.
Depends on how much you sweat.
The answer is I wouldn't survive a society without air conditioning. See, he's in shadow because he's evil.
Oh, well. That's...
the easiest thing for you to score here.
Well, you said that in just the weirdest way, Griff. You're turning into the show.
A little bit. It's rubbing off.
Because he said like, not have a thing for, or want to bang, you know, any of that. Like you said. You said, oh, that's the easiest lay or whatever. I can't remember what you said. It threw me off.
Oh no, he's too innocent.
Well, to be fair, if he has the stamina to be able to hold up against her, there's no reason why she couldn't be monogamous. You know, right? It's just a stamina issue, really.
Unless that's part of the curse for some weird reason.
She never indicated that it was.
ある人物に一目惚れをしたそうなんです。その惚れた
To be fair, a lot of guys say that, I'm
僕
sure.
の知っている人なのですが、紹介するには少々問題がありまして。
I like to compare and contrast this to Jujutsu Kaisen, where everyone just immediately in on like trying to control Yuji's relationship.
嫌いではありません。恋愛対象
Well, they're all about that with each other. Remember, we already got that with Megumi in the first season.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the Mushoku Tensei watchers to come here and watch us remember more about Jujutsu Kaisen in another show than we do when actively watching Jujutsu Kaisen.
無難に考えるとアリエル王女かね。
見てるだけで告白できないって辛いことだと思うんだ。だからきちんと紹介して告白するチャンスを与えてあげるのがいいんじゃないかな。
This doesn't feel like it'd be all that hard. Like, we shouldn't even be have to talk about this. Just literally put them in the same bar together. Eventually, it'll happen. Well, no, I mean, she, like, wanders the bars, like, to talk to everybody there or, you know, see who gets her interest. Eventually, you'll just be the guy.
I guess the reading of the room is Rudy's is just like, this guy is going to have all of his hopes dashed if he learns about the real person here.
I mean, maybe Cliff would be into it. Some people are just cucks. But I mean, I don't mean that in a shame way. Just literally, he might be into it. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would be, but he could be. See, he's getting excited for rejection. He could literally be into it.
Oh, yes, the bow and everything.
エリナリーゼドラゴンロードですわ。それでクリフさんはこの私に一体どんなご用ですの？
何でもエリナリーゼさんを紹介してほしいらしく連れてきました。
はい。エリナリーゼさんのお美しいお顔はいつも拝見してい
I
ます。
don't know, you're going real physical with this, Cliff.
お願いしたいのです。
ちょっと
何ですか？
いくら欲しいんですの？
まさか先輩を売りに来たと思ったのか？最低だな。
金はいりません。
嘘おっしゃい。ルーデウス、あなた私のこと分かってるでしょ？あんな騙しやすそうな子を連れてくるなんて恥を知りなさい。
恥知らず。
He asked for it.
騙すも何も僕は紹介してくれと言われただけです。
本当ですの？
なんだったらロキシー師匠に誓ってもいいですよ。
ルーデウスの言葉が本当だとしても本気の子はちょっと困りますわ。
Ah, there we go.
実はそんなこともあろうかと言って宿に連れ込むかと思ったんだが。
私の呪いはご存知でしょ？一人とお付き合いすることはでき
Oh,
ません。
there you go.
じゃあ仕方ありません。綺麗に振っちゃってください。
いいんですの？ルーデウスの顔に泥を塗るんじゃなくて？
問題ありません。でもなるべく信じ
That'd be egg on his face.
分かってますわよ。ルーデウス、人の恋路を覗き見るもんじゃありませんわよ。
そうですね。では僕はこれで失礼します。
ルーデウス。
I can only guess by the name of the episode, though, he's gonna win her over somehow.
悪いが
and it's going to turn out bad.
結末だろ
If so, I'm gonna be very surprised. Let's do this.
Or that's going to be Cliff's new research. Way to beat the curse.
ルーデスおはよ
私たち付き合うことになりましたの。
Or Cliff is just into it.
あんな男らしいプロポーズをされては、さすがの私でもキュンときてしまいましたのよ。
それはおめでとうございます。ですが呪いは。
私、これからはクリフのためになるべく我慢することにしましたの。
Oh
But
no.
you'll die.
エリナ・ディーゼだけに辛い思いはさせない君の呪いはこの僕が必ず直してみせる
Yeah, I was right about that then.
エリナ・ディーゼ
You think this is all just a trick?
It could be, because it seems too fast, and Eleni seems too smart for this.
That Elenise wasn't just waving at Cliff as he walked by, that he was actually gesturing him to come here? I got a thing. I got an idea.
Mhm.
Let's fuck with Rudeus.
Oh no, that could actually be even better. I actually like that a lot more. Eleni's is just in it to just mess with Rudeus.
お盛んですね。
なんでも秋になると異性同士で決闘して勝った方が家族のボスとなるらしい。従属なりのプロポーズのようなもので、つまりは発情期だな。そして従属といえばあの二人もなんだが、リニアとプルセナ、ドルディア族の二人の姫君は従属にとって憧れの的。求婚という名の決闘の申し込みが後を絶えない。
Oh, and you already won against the two of them. You're doomed, Rudeus.
No, should have nothing to do with him.
あとは頼むとも書いてあった。一体何を頼むというのだ?
Because this show is turning into a literal harem anime. Cool, 69 fireflies. I didn't need that.
Dragonflies, thank you.
Whatever. My mind is in 100 different directions. Oh look, Griff, it's your new girl.
それはあれですか。この時期流行りの求婚の決闘ってやつですか。
さよ。
ああ。すいません、僕こう見えても割とノーマルなんで。
Well, not according to your own inner thoughts.
プルセナ様に文を出したところ、貴様が群れのボスだと判明した。よって貴様には決闘。
Oh, they're throwing him under the bus. I see.
頼むってそういうことかよ。
いざ尋常に勝負。
じゃあ決着ということで。
But can you be the boss of multiple tribes?
I don't see why not in this system. All you have to do is win, right?
外がすごいことになってるけど何をしたんだ。
Sure, I guess that would make you the Khan.
リニアとプルセナを嫁にするには僕を倒せばいいらしいです。
何それ。君はドルディア族の族長じゃないんだ。彼女らをどうこうする権利はないはずだよ。
とは言っても。
Well, technically he's not. They're making decisions for him.
むさ苦しい男だらけの決闘大会か。
男だらけってほどじゃないよ。一人だけ女の子もいたし。
マジっすか。可愛い子でした。
Oh, the disapproval. I love it.
Well, to be fair, he could lose intentionally and force one of them to wind up with whoever this girl is.
Oh, the one girl.
Being the one girl, it's that one demon guy we got from the intro to the academy.
間違いやなら全員倒せというのでそうしてみたら本当にすぐ出てきたではないか。その予見眼、貴様がルーデウス・グレイラットか。
Oh, he knows your trick.
Oh no.
Oh, he's the depressed fiance or whatever the hell the title of this episode is. But if you already have a fiance, what are you challenging? Oh, are you challenging for... Does the little demon girl think you're engaged to her? Is that what's going on?
フィアンセ。
Yes,
Oh,
I
there we
don't.
go.
Well, it's being said already. I don't think
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
challenging her from behalf of the Beast Girls. He has to be challenging him based on the Demon Girl.
あれほど興奮して話す彼女を見たのは久しぶりでな。
僕は小物ですよ。他人より少しばかり魔力が多いようですが。
Also, I gotta say, I love multi-arm poses. They're just so fun.
He's Goro. Or Shiva. Depends
Yeah,
which
just
one you
doing
want
like
to go
3
with.
different things at once. It's great.
貴様が初めてである。つまり貴様は世界でもトップクラスの魔力総量を誇るというわけであるな。
Glad we had this conversation from the whole school. Talk me up some more.
Yeah. Everyone came for the fight, and now they're just having a nice sit down.
普通ならありえんことだ。
普通ならありえないなら、俺のように転生してきたものはどうなのだろうか。
Well, that's a shame.
人神からチートをもらっていたとか。
Predominantly, the impetus of the show has been his hard work as a child got him the strength. Now if it's the reincarnation, that means that it was just a normal isekai and not his hard work.
I do like, though, the first instinct is to ask, like, wait, am I cheating? It's a nice little bit of character.
その名前をどこで聞いたのだ。
夢に出てくるんです。
うん、そうか。夢にか。
何かご存知で。
うん。わからん。
そうですか。
うん。急に黙りおってつまらんやつだな。貴様も笑え。
So nobody gets suspicious?
Oh,
I too
they're
like
playing a
Final
secret
Fantasy
game
X.
Oh gosh, it is the laugh. You're right.
ルーデウス君、お待たせ。
先輩、すみません、こんなことをお願いしてしまって。
無理しないでね。ごめんなさいして逃げても誰も何も言わない相手だから命だけはね。
Gosh.
Trust me, I fought the dragon dude. I should be able to handle this baddie.
The dragon dude, need I remind you, put a hole in his chest.
どうか命だけは助けてください。
始める前から命乞いか。面白いやつだ。
命は大切にすべきです。
それほど膨大な魔力を持っていながら、己の力に自信はないか。
2年ほど前に竜神とかいう人に殺されかけたばっかりなんで。
Oh, that shut him up instantly.
熱い。人神の名前が大丈夫だったから安心していた。オルステッドの方がダメだったか。
では、一つ我
Well,
が
now I think he's a bit afraid now. You fought the dragon god and lived?
一発だけだ。一発だけ貴様の奥義を我が輩に向かって放て。それで我が輩に傷がつけば貴様の勝ち。そうでなければ我が輩の勝ちってどうだ。
That sounds like a, okay, I think we need to leave the school grounds, though.
Yeah. Oh no, they ain't leaving. That crowd's not letting them go anywhere.
Well, no, just imagining his biggest explosion.
あの時は素手で、片手で、とっさに作った。でも今回は時間がある。
Oh, see, I was thinking he was going to cause a lightning storm. Because I think that would be stronger than this.
フィギュアを作る時と一緒だ。ただ今回はもっと
Oh, we're always coming back. You're going to love Grimlock, and I hope.
貫けるように。速度。
This is what a drill does.
Oh, that's how a drill works. Yeah, right.
And then I put depleted uranium into the shell.
では、行きますよ。
来い。
Well, he's probably fine.
Instant death.
No, he's in the opening.
嘘だろ。死んだ。
Probably caught it.
Caught it with his teeth.
See, you can't catch lightning. That's why I would have gone with something more AoE-ish.
Oh, okay. He's He's a lot smaller now.
Well, it's a wound, though.
Oh, that sure is.
貴様の勝ちだ、ルーデウスよ。勇者を名乗ってもよいぞ。
いえ、それはやめときます。
ではせめて勝ち時をあげよ
よくわからないが判定勝ちってことでいいんだろう。
勝ったど
う。さて、では我が輩の番だな。
I mean, that's not the agreement they made.
はい、これで大丈夫。
ありがとうございます。
でも、あんな騒ぎを起こしたばっかりだから、今日はもうゆっくり休んで。
フィッツ先輩もありがとうございました。
I do love our demon fiance character. That's just good.
なんだか疲れた。決闘やら魔王やら今日は大変だったな。まあでもこれで会うこともないだろう。
He's literally got a room here. You know that from the opening. Not the opening.
He's gonna be in the homeroom.
Not the opening. The first time we got here and we showed all the characters the first time.
Ah, okay.
でもまさか魔王まで来るとは思わなかったの。私たちは魔性の女なの。よくぞ守ってくれたの。お礼に胸を揉んでいいの。リニアのを。
ありがとうございます。
See? Just not a fan of the sexual assault motif that we're suddenly getting.
I don't know. Again, I still love Karina just eating fried chicken and selling everyone out.
不死身の魔王バディガーディ参上。
I feel like Badigatti is just another way to say bad guy.
嘘だろ。
Just like Natalie Badgirl.
Just because you are a bad guy does not mean you are a bad guy. I love the attempt he made at fitting into a shirt, though. That's just precious. So there we go. Homeroom teacher acquired. Oh, Theta, what's on your brain there? This was actually good. I think we came back.
I mean, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I think
Sure.
this show is digging itself deeper for me, and I need another win episode. And this episode was fine and all,
Uh-huh.
but I guess to line it up, I feel like we're reaching that arc of reincarnated as a slime, where he actually goes to the school and starts teaching kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we're just so far out of the element that I liked the show for that I just stopped watching Reincarnated as a Slime at that point. And it's like,
It's hard to figure out what track you're on in that show, I think. Yeah, I feel
well,
ya.
no, there was a lot of themes going on in that show, and then at that point, it's just like, hey, that girl that I loved now that she's gone, or that I was infatuated with, teach the kids that I had a thing for. You know, it's like, well, this is nothing to do with the town building or the world building, and cool. So that guy's coming back, it seems.
That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, I think I know which guy you're talking about.
Well,
It's that
you
guy.
should. You were here for his one appearance. I guess 2 appearances.
Actually, there might be 2, but no, this is Shizuka Nanahoshi is what it is on the chart.
And they tried to fight him once before he realized that they weren't the bad guys and ran off, and then the teleportation happened. But no, my thing is, again, I'm just losing momentum for the show. Again, I'm not like, this is bad, I don't enjoy it anymore. Obviously, it's still fun, and I'm invested. Time and investment plus enjoyment make for the desire to watch, and I haven't lost any of that yet. It's just
You
the
just need to get back your momentum.
The realization is hitting me that this isn't like this is 3/4. This is like 4/4, right? And the first season, the first arc of the second season, all of that would be 3/4 of the show. This new 4th of the show is not the parts of the show that I liked from the first 3/4 of the show. This is something new, and it's worse. And I'm not enjoying it as much. The ride, where I can't tell where we're on the ride. Like, the ride was doing ups, and it was doing downs, it was doing ups, and it was doing downs, and for some reason now, we're on that little very level part where it turns a corner, and it's not doing anything. It's like, well, this is... I don't know how to handle this.
I think, in my opinion, I am cheered up by this episode. This was a good amount of lightheartedness. We had a good bit of character interaction happening that was not like any of like the more specific weirdness we were getting before. We have like a little bit of lore that got developed, and we added a new fun character who like I'm excited to see more of now. The show, this episode gave me at least stuff that I can be excited about. So I'm feeling really happy here.
I guess to further delve in, the Demon King does nothing for me. Like I said, it's just like that element of reincarnated as a slime. We get introduced to new characters who just, they don't do anything for me. They don't. The world does not feel better for having them in it. It was a fun episode, but it does not assuage any of my concerns from the last 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it doesn't do anything to lift the weight off of my shoulders from my last problems. And it doesn't add anything new to redirect my concern. In fact, I had that conversation with you in the middle where Cliff is getting beat up. It's like, oh, this is what they're doing, instead of the hope that we had that, oh, he's taking bullies away from another person, so he's not that bully guy anymore. He is the guy who's taking bullies away from people. Instead of the recognition that him torturing the 2 cat girls for a day to the point where they apparently pissed themselves and were starving, and he sexually assaulted them. He has no realization. There's no connective tie there, and now we're moving away from it. So that our epiphany in the moment is just ours alone.
Right. I guess what do I say about all this? I think I'm fine at least taking the previous 2 episodes, putting them into a box and saying, all right, we'll come back to that if the show decides to address it. And until then, I'm just like, okay, at least we are back somewhere on track. We are in the ballpark of where we wanted to be.
Except that he's still groping those 2 girls as a result of those episodes. So you can't really put them in a box unless that box is like tendril holes for the creepy bits to come back out of.
But this is more like what I would expect Rudeus to do as a character in the first place, and the show is at least presenting that they are now on a basis where this is just how they interact as, quote, friends, right? That is the way they expect to interact with each other now. So I'm just like, okay, sure, we'll go with that. That's what the status quo is set on.
I guess, to
I can
be
only
fair,
get so much, you know?
Well, no, you can go all in. Look, I have to think, Riff, at the end of the day, our reactions have to be honest, right? If there's something that we don't like, we're not going to say, well, the fans of the show aren't going to like that, so let's just hide that away and feign love for every aspect of a thing. No. If we don't like a thing, we should have the freedom to say that. I mean, if that costs us people, then I guess it sucks, but
Right.
If
But
our
again,
honest...
this is all my own honest reaction to it. I'm going, all right, I liked what I see right now, and I'm willing to keep going with it. That's how I feel right now. But I guess overall, do you have any other thoughts on like the general lore of the world that like got developed today? Like, do you have any like thoughts?
I mean, we
about
really
that, or,
didn't
like,
develop
the other elements that happened.
We really didn't develop any new lore. The fact that the demon,
Emperor,
queen, princess,
they call her Emperor, I think.
Yeah, well, whatever she is, the fact that she has a fiance doesn't really change much of the world at all. If you think about it, it's like, okay, she has relationships. Cool. I could have guessed that. I don't really need a character to show up to make me believe that was the case.
I guess here's something that's coming up in my mind. It's that like it's the way like the divine and the mortal here are kind of working, because like rudeus like has his man god, and presumably that is specifically like for humans and dealing with rudeus, and he is like pushing them to an arm's length as much as possible. They don't trust him, and honestly shouldn't. Meanwhile, he's just kind of friends with the demons. He's down with the demons. They're just instantly okay with each other. And nobody has any problem with this. Instant allies.
Well, it's because
Then the dragon people come and kill them.
it's because it's a harem sort of thing, right? It's a harem. The girls like him, or he forces the girls to like him, which is a weird take, to be sure. So the fact that the demon empress happens to be a woman means that he's immediately getting best friended or whatever by anybody that's associated with her. So it's just a thing. It's a normal fantasy ichi thing that, oh, you had a thing for her? Well, it turns out she has a thing for me. So now we're either going to do a duel or we're just going to fight each other, but our mutual respect for our mutual friendship is going to bring us back together during the day. Even bad anime have this relationship. So it's like, I'm taking nothing away from it.
I guess it's more, I'm thinking of like the geopolitics of it, or I guess the divine politics of it. I'm just like, oh, this is kind of amusing.
Well, the thing is, what you mentioned before, the whole divine aspect thing. In the listing, the tiers of the gods and everything, none of the demon shit comes up. Demon Empress isn't even on the list. So you're saying in the divine shit, for all we know, demons are just another race. They might not even be divine in any nature at all. They could just be another race.
A race of weird things that come to you in your dreams and tell you what to do.
No, that hasn't happened.
Sorry.
Remember, what's his name is a demon, technically. Rujard is a demon.
Right.
So it could just be another race.
Well, I guess ultimately something to think about for now. I'm going to go ahead and say that's on my mind for the future. Where are we going with the meta plot is what my brain is on. So I think with that, Theta, do you have anything extra on your mind? Anything you want to cover?
No, I think that's been the broad scope of things.
All right, in that case, let's go ahead and wrap up for the day. This has been Stoneface Reactions, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?